What is up, guys? I'm Rick, always raiding Cactus, back at it again, and today we're going to be showcasing a brand new Vault of Glass raid weapon just added into Destiny 2 with Season of the Splicer, and this is a must-have PvE weapon. This is a meta changer. This is a meta breaker. It's an S+++++. It is genuinely the highest damage outputting sniper in the entire game for PvE right now. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, how do you get this weapon? Well, again, it's a drop from Vault of Glass. It's the PRAEDYTH'S Revenge Sniper Rifle, and it specifically drops from either the Oracle's encounter, kind of in the middle of the raid, and then the final boss encounter, Atheon. So if you want to know how to beat the raid, how to get this weapon, definitely check out my complete raid guide. It is linked up above. You're going to need to know that before tackling the Vault of Glass. But moving on and focusing to the actual weapon, what makes the PRAEDYTH'S Revenge so darn good? Well, the God roll for PvE, which is what we're focusing on today, all revolves around the only unique Vault of Glass raid perk. Now, this is rewind rounds. Only Vault of Glass weapons can get this perk, and what it says is the following. When this weapon's magazine is empty, it refills from reserves based on the number of hits. And how this works in-game is, if you land all of your shots, you get half of your magazine back, roughly. Then, those rounds you get back, if you land all of those shots, you will continue to get rounds back. So with the PRAEDYTH'S Revenge, in this specific example, we can see that working right here against Kali. I'm landing all 7 shots, and as soon as I do, I get 4 rounds back. And then I can just shoot those 4 rounds, and then I get 2 rounds back. And then if I shoot those 2, unfortunately, I don't get 1 round back, it simply ends. So importantly, there is some rounding going on here, obviously for me to shoot 7 and get 4 back, and also for me to shoot 2 and not get 1 back. This is somewhat of an inconsistent perk, but in-game, if you are able to consistently land your shots against something like a big raid boss, for example, you can get an absurd magazine size. So in that example, against Kali, I shot 7 rounds, got 4 back for 11, shot 2 more. That is 13 rounds. That is quite literally unheard of in terms of a volume output for a sniper rifle. Like, this is absolutely insane, and rewind rounds is one of the best VOG perks for, frankly, any of the weapons for PvE. It just massively increases your magazine size. But a couple of things to keep in mind. As you can see, if you miss some shots, so I missed 1 out of my 7 shots here, I only get 3 rounds back. And then if I have those 4, I miss 1, I only get 1 round back. Additionally, if you miss the final shot of the magazine, like when you have 1 bullet left and it's about to become empty, if you miss that, you get no rounds back. You're just going to have to do a normal reload. The good news is that the PRAEDYTH'S Revenge belongs to the rapid fire frame archetype, which gives you faster reload when the magazine is empty, which is pretty good there. Alright, but what are we combining rewind rounds with? Well, there's 2 really cracked perks we're looking at. The first one is the one I have, which is Frenzy. So being in combat for an extended time increases your weapon damage, handling, and reload. So as long as I'm getting shot at and dealing damage, I'm getting 15% more damage for every single shot. Frenzy is a very, very good perk. Even though it got nerfed with this season, it is definitely going to substantially increase your damage output. However, there's actually, I think, an even better perk here for this weapon, and that is, as you can see, high impact reserves. Rounds at the end of the magazine deal more damage. So the last 4 bullets are going to be boosted in damage, and the last 2 are going to do the most damage with around a 26% damage boost. And with rewind rounds, that matters quite a bit because you're shooting the last 4 bullets, and then you get those 4 bullets back, which again all do extra damage. You shoot those 4, and then you get the 2 back, which do the most damage. So you are quite literally triggering the highest damaging of the high impact reserves 3 times in a row before you need to reload, thanks to rewind rounds. And that is what I consider to be the utter god roll. But is it really? Because Frenzy provides a damage boost to all of your rounds, not just the last ones in the Meg. Well, to find out, we organized a massive damage test against Riven. All 6 of us are using cracked PvE Sniper rifles, and we're all gonna see who comes out on top in terms of the DPS department. So, let's break down what's going on here. I'm using my rewind rounds plus frenzy roll. Elite is using the rewind rounds plus high impact reserves roll. Then we've got Amateur here using a long shadow with rapid hit plus triple tap. That's a really good PvE roll. Then we've got Nova here using the frozen orbit PvE god roll with triple tap plus Vorpal weapon. We've got Thick using the Secession with Reconstruction plus Vorpal. And lastly, we have Taco using the IKELOS with 4th times the Charm and high impact reserves, which is certainly the closest thing to the PRAEDYTH'S. So, against Riven, 1 magazine, so no reloading, who did the most damage? Well, it turns out, as you can see here, it was actually pretty close. So 1 magazine, I was capable of doing 121,000 damage. I actually got barely beat by Elite with the high impact reserves roll, and then Thick actually won with the Secession and all 8 rounds boosted by boss spec, with that weapon. So actually, the Secession comes on top. But of course, that's just 1 magazine without reloading. Let's incorporate reloading. Let's incorporate how much damage we can do before the damage phase ends. So, as you can see right here, we just absolutely go to town on Riven. I'm trying my best to trigger Frenzy as well. And after going buck wild on Riven, as you can see right here, the winners, the people who did the most damage, are both me and Elite, with Elite being on top with that high impact reserves roll. In 3rd, we've got the Secession and Thick. In 4th place, we have the IKELOS, and then behind there is the Frozen Orbit as well as the Long Shadow. Now, we did another DPS test just to make sure we're getting everything right, and as you can see, the results are identical. We did even more damage this time, but again, it's Elite on top with that high impact reserves PRAEDYTH'S roll, and then I'm in 2nd place, and then in 3rd place is again Thick, in 4th place Taco, and then the other 2 are behind there. So, what this DPS test revealed is a couple of things. Firstly, the high impact reserves roll on the PRAEDYTH'S is by far the best one. That is the utter god roll. But it also showed that the PRAEDYTH'S Revenge is the highest DPS sniper rifle for PvE in the game right now. I know this test isn't perfect. I know there was a couple of snipers we didn't test, the Eye of Soul with Field Prep plus Vorpal, but I mean, Field Prep wouldn't even come into effect before Riven was closing her mouth. There's also the brand new Uzmin RR4 Nightfall Sniper that just came out this week. That can get triple tap plus Vorpal or high impact. That would probably do better than the Long Shadow. But again, the damage numbers are so much higher for the PRAEDYTH'S. Like, we are doing 30,000 more than 2nd place. Actually, in terms of Elite and Thick, it was quite literally a difference of 35,000 damage. That is so much damage. That is a colossal lead. This is Usain Bolt versus a high school track team. Like, this is not even comparable. It is so clear that the PRAEDYTH'S is on top. This is absolutely incredible. This is huge when it comes to picking a high DPS sniper in Destiny 2. We have a new top dog. However, just because something is the highest at DPS doesn't necessarily mean it's the best for every scenario. If I was picking a Grandmaster sniper, I would more likely go with the Secession due to its higher damage per shot and better ammo economy. Additionally, let's not forget that almost the entirety of your DPS hinges on landing that final shot. If you miss it, it goes to crap. Also, unlike triple tap and 4 times a charm, which brings ammo out of thin air, it just adds it to your magazine. Rewind rounds does take it from reserves, so again, the ammo economy for this weapon isn't as good. It runs out of ammo faster for sure. And the last downside of this weapon is that, as you can see right here, it does not trigger with a divinity bubble. So this is a huge downside. We actually tested it not only on this weapon, we tested it on a Fatebringer that had rewind rounds as well, and it didn't work either. So for whatever reason, this is a glitch right now. I think it should definitely trigger rewind rounds, but it's just because you're technically hitting the divinity bubble and not the enemy itself. Hopefully Bungie fixes this, but as for right now, like if you really wanted to go ham for DPS, a divinity bubble is going to make it a lot easier to land your shots as fast as possible with the PRAEDYTH'S. So the fact that that's not working right now is a big negative. But still, all those negatives aside, the fact remains that this is capable of outputting more damage than any other PvE sniper, and that is absolutely a reason to go after and grind this weapon. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.